So, what letter of the alphabet is that, boys and girls? So that's kind of good. If anything, that should all make you a lot happier. So, geez, that looks like a W, eh? That's a hell of a floor. So, down, up, down, breakout. Hello. Gee whiz, you start drawing some upside objectives. Is this trend line coming in on the other, or is this W coming in on the other side of a trend line? Oh boy, look how close that is. I don't know. Looks like maybe not. So that's in, oh yeah, that is the highest high. Okay, so there we go. And this right here, we will put that against the highest high, which is right there. All right, that looks good. And there you go. So actually, yeah, looks like this W here, if anything, this is really cool. Good analogy of this. Market came down, it kissed the trend line from the other side. And you see that happen a lot, folks. Rallies up, comes back down, and breakout. So I think actually the double bottom fires right off of that high. Remember, we even did that the other day. We go, wow, look at the size of those wicks and tails. That really defined the trading range. Now I think you can actually move that up against that low. So big breakout. If there's any kind of pullback here, we should see some buying interest come in off of that level there. If that pukes out, then we should see a lot of buying interest down at, candle body lows for trade location, down into that tail there. And this will officially roll over and be a bear again if we lose this trend line. Now, that trend line, I think, is very, very important now going forward. So, my friends, it sure looks to me like the old corn is turning the corner. No pun intended. Near-term objectives, this makes sense. 2.618 coming up against that range up there. You hear Brian talk about candle body highs and lows for trade location. So that makes perfect sense. It's also the top of value. And what do you think the odds are? That's probably an important fib number. Boom. So there's 50% level. There is Mountain Man. In fact, this has got Paul written all over it. So, when we get together with Paul tonight, we'll do lots of this kind of exploration. I guess we're going to have to do Mountain Man as an upside down W. Not a bummer. All right, so that's that there. So then we'll put that there, and then we'll roll it around, and there you go, Mountain Man. So what is that? 22.5. I don't see any reason why we can't work our way up into there. Do it, 38.2s here in the short term should act as a bit of resistance. Here's a good old Collins dump chaser zone, 38.2 up to 50% rule. The question really here is, what do the internals look like? W's coming in across the board in indicators. Do we go and put out another, hey, Dav, is this your Davo signal coming in here? I don't think he gives a fuck about us anymore. I don't really like the idea of chasing up there. I would probably say if you did want to get in on this thing, wherever the high is, and I can't tell you where it's going to be, but wherever that high is, draw your reload zone going back against the bottom. Probably a test of this trend line somewhere around here. We're probably going to do some sort of topping out pattern. 38.2 and 50% levels should act as some sort of support down in this area. If we puke out and lose those, then, there is the bottom of value. Interesting, 78.6. We talked about candle body lows for trade location, 70.2. That would make sense. Then maybe we do something like that. So do we pivot here and head up? Or do we have to pivot, come all the way down into reload zones against all these lows and pivot there? So if you're interested in buying, I would say there's two scenarios that you're sort of thinking about. Scenario one It's a light pullback into Collins pump chaser zone. This is actually where you can use the reference pump chaser, right? Because this is the pump. We don't want to chase. We want to let the market come back down into Collins level. I suppose that's an appropriate color. You know, I might even argue that we used to do this on the site all the time, is we would have one level as the 38.2, and then one level as the 38.2. And we would just say the market's going to play ping pong back and forth between these two levels. That's probably the highest probability trade going forward.